I'm Michelle Weltman and I'm a swimming coach, and we're at London Fields Lido on a beautiful crisp autumn morning, and I have disabled swimmers in the water who hopefully will go to Paralympics next year. They train here at this pool 4 times a week, but they train 9 times a week altogether. So what the swimmers are doing at the moment is warming up, and in the warm-up this is getting them ready to work hard later on. So what I tend to do in the warm-up is some easy swimming mixed in with some drill work, which is skill work, where they work on specific skills on the stroke. And then after this bit we'll go into a little bit of just picking up the pace, getting the heart rate a little bit higher, and then we'll go into what we call the main set, where they'll have to work very hard. I work in disability sports. I have been for over 20 odd years, and I have many roles and help and support many young people to get involved in disability sports. I'm involved in wheelchair athletics and run a project around looking at, supported and run by London Marathon, looking at identifying young athletes and setting up clubs and getting them involved in wheelchair athletics with the hope of them taking part in mini marathon and then in the main marathon. I do the swimming, obviously, our coaching, and then I'm doing a project at the moment where I'm working with GLL looking at provision of swimming for disabled young people and how we can integrate them and have a fully fledged pathway for disabled swimmers who come into GLL centres. Talent means to me someone who has the ability, the agility, the speed, but also the desire to want to win and to do something. And it's quite an interesting question, because I had a swimmer who was 4'5", 4'9" really, but should never have really been a swimmer. But she had such a desire to win that actually her lack of talent, of skill and agility made her probably one of the best swimmers, and she was the top of her class when she swam. But talent is huge, really, and we can go into long explanations, but I tend to think that the 2 I have in the water now are very talented. When you're looking at an athlete, you look for attributes. They need to be of a certain height, they need to be flexible, they need to have some kind of speed, and they need to be able to pick up a skill very, very quickly. And you can look sometimes at people and say, yeah, they've got talent. And sometimes you can look at them and say, they haven't. But I don't write anyone off if they haven't got talent, because I think there's always an innate something there that brings them to the pool or brings them to the track or brings them to wherever they're going to do sport. Well, I'm hoping very much that they can be used by the community. I mean, you can't have these type of venues and then for them to sit empty for years and years and years. What I don't want to see happening is, I was in Barcelona recently and the stadium just stays empty most of the year round, and it's a shame to spend all this money and have all these facilities in East London not to be used. I think there's the legacy company that are really looking at who's going to run each facility, how it's going to be run, how it's going to be managed. And I know that a lot of work by a lot of people have gone into looking at post-2012 and the legacy and how these facilities will be used. We have potential here to have world-class facilities, and we need to make sure we use them and not let them just rot away like they have done in some countries.